A few weeks from now, delegates of the All Progressives Congress, APC, will convene to elect new national officials to superintend over the affairs of Nigeria's ruling party over the next 4 years. But before the national convention of the party, slated for February the 26th, confusion has reigned supreme over the zoning of his chairmanship post. While some aspirants are insisting that the position has been zoned to the North Central geopolitical zone, others have rejected it, saying zoning should be jettisoned. The lack of clarity on the zoning arrangement has been blamed on the chairman of the Caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee of the APC and governor of Yobe State, Mai Mala Buni, who allegedly tried to remain in the post until the party's presidential primary later in the year. However, his scheming was thwarted by President Muhammadu Buhari, who ordered the party faithful to get their acts together. With the date for the convention now cast in stone, the Buni-led committee has been coy about the zoning of offices, making it an all-comers affair. Well, joining us now from Abuja to tell us why he thinks he's the person to lead the APC for the next 4 years is Saliu Mustapha, a former Deputy National Chairman of the CPC and founding member of the APC. The CPC was one of the political parties that coalesced in 2013 to form the APC. Welcome to the show, Mr. Mustapha, and good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, very quickly, we understand that you are interested in the chairmanship of the All Progressives Congress. Well, the question is, how strong are your chances? And, what do you think about this zoning formula? Is there really a zoning formula? Because there are other members of the party who have said no, there is no plan to zone the chairmanship of the party. What's your take?
Well, good morning once again, and good morning, viewers. My chances are very strong and very bright. From your records, I'm sure from the assessment so far that some of you have done as individuals and as journalists who do investigative journalism, I have a very strong and bright chance to lead the party, not just because I am the one running, but when you look at some of the values I'll be bringing on board, and for somebody who knows where we are coming from and knows where we need to be or where we ought to be, I have a message which has been very simple, is that we'll be doing things differently this time around. In terms of the zoning formula of the party, well, the party has not officially taken a position on that, but we are looking at strategies as it relates to our party, the APC. For any party, the most important thing is you strategize on how you win the general election. So if all calculations are right, we're looking at bringing the chairmanship to the center, which is more of the North Central, so that you can be able to balance the other major positions like the president and the vice president vis-a-vis other national elective positions too. So for us in the APC, we're looking forward to other announcements by the caretaker committee. Of course, we have to give them the benefit of doubt that they are on the seat now, and they know what is very important they know better than some of us outside there on how to strategize so that to put the party on a very good balance, because the most important thing for some of us is strategizing towards the general election of 2023, making sure we're able to retain power so as to consolidate on the gains so far achieved by the present administration.
Right. I have two questions for you. I want to talk about zoning in a different context, apart from the geopolitical zone. There's talk that it's now the time of the CPC bloc to produce the next national chairman, since ACN and ANPP have had a bite of the cherry. How relevant is that criteria in your view, seeing as it does work for you, since you came from CPC stock? And my second question for you is, what exactly is your vision for APC should you become its national chairman?
Thank you very much. In terms of the zoning formula, as it relates to the parties, you must put in mind that we no longer discuss issues of legacy parties anymore. We are discussing APC as a party. And like I said, these are our own internal strategies on how to balance, carry everybody along, give people a sense of belonging so as to win the general election. Yes, the truth must be told, I'm from the CPC bloc. I was even once the deputy national chairman to late Prince Tony Momo. For me, it's all about our internal strategy, like I said earlier. If we decide to look at it from this angle or the other angle, the most important thing is, in politics, you want to give people a sense of belonging. You want to carry them along. The more the merrier. All hands has to be on deck. So CPC or no CPC, I am eminently qualified to lead this party based on my track record. And at the same time, I think I have something to offer. For me in life, anywhere I find myself, I always want to see how I can improve upon my immediate environment. I believe I've gathered enough experience over the years, and when we look at other political demography now, I mean, it makes it very convenient for me to want to vie for this position. So I want to let you know that your second question, your second question came about on my vision.
Yes.
I want to let you know, for me as an aspirant vying for this position now, first and foremost, I want to see that my party is rebranded such that we give people an opportunity and we make them know that APC is the option. And we make them also see the need for the new dimension of politics being championed by APC. I also want to be the leader of a party alongside other team members, because I believe in teamwork, where we can be able to sell a manifesto to the people of Nigeria on how to improve upon the general well-being of our citizens. In doing this, I will make sure, as the chairman of a party, first and foremost, we entrench internal democracy in the party. Once you have internal democracy in a party, then you can be rest assured you have the best. That is when merit is put above every other factor. And when you put merit above every other factor, you are able to present the best. You are able to get the best and quality materials to represent your party and the people. Because often at times, one of the major problems that Nigeria as a democratic state has experienced since the return of democracy is bringing people who do not merit their positions, who sometimes are forced upon the people. And when they get there, they don't owe anybody any sense of responsibility, because as long as they are concerned, they bought their way into that position. I want to see a party where there will be internal party discipline so that we can be able to do things appropriately. I want to see a party that before even the Nigerian public hold us accountable, we hold ourselves accountable. Because we have come out to the public, we have preached certain things that we're going to give to them as dividends of democracy. So I want to see whereby we as a party were able to call our representative to account for their stewardship. One of our major problems in Nigeria is we don't ask questions. Nobody is there to give us answers. Things happen and we just take it, oh, well, that's how it should be. No, people should be accountable for holding trust. So, and I want to see a party that will encourage and promote the involvement of younger generation and women, because definitely the leaders of today will definitely hand over to the younger generation. So if we don't start molding ourselves into it and there's nobody mentoring us into it, then how do we take over the driver's seat when the time comes? We don't want to just have an accidental driver who doesn't know how to navigate his way around. So for me, there are a lot to be brought on board. We need a party, in my own vision, that will also be able to instill party discipline and supremacy. It matters a lot in our culture because lack of discipline is one of our major reasons why people veer off from the norm. So I have a lot to offer, and that is why our slogan is we're doing it differently. We want to make sure we give people a sense of belonging, carry everybody along. And another major aspect we'll be bringing on board is consultation. In the past, people don't consult. They just assume, since I represent every other person or I'm the head of the table here, I decide for everybody. No, we live in a society with different peculiarities. What happens in Akwa Ibom might not be obtainable in Kwara. What happens in Kaduna might not be obtainable in Abia or Osun State. So you must give people a sense of belonging by having regular consultations with them so that you can address these issues on case-by-case study.
Okay, so a lot of people will say, why do you want to come in at a time to lead a party that is imploding already? And these are their reasons. Number one, over the weekend, there was a story that says that the incumbent interim chairman of the party was still trying to run in the race to become the chairman of the party. That's May Malabuni. Anyway, he came out to debunk the story over the weekend. But that's shocking, a lot of people will say. A lot of people are also talking about the ploy to be able to remove, ex-governors from the race. And a lot of people are also talking about the firepower of the likes of, and I say monetary firepower of the likes of Alimadu Sharif. And this zoning thing, going to the North Central and the likes. So they said the party's in disarray. And they said that will culminate in the convention on the 26th, and it will show the fractures in the party. What do you say about all of this?
Well, Rufai, I must let you know what you see from the outside is not exactly what happens inside. APC does not have the kind of crisis you portray we have. And I don't foresee any internal implosion. That's one. Me coming in now is because I believe I have something to offer. I believe I can add some value. We must not all be governors. We must not all be senators, House of Rep members, or ministers. Anywhere we find ourselves, we should be able to contribute and to make our society better. I have found myself in this side of the divide, and I think this is where I can add value in bringing about a very strong, formidable, and unified party. These are part of the things I want to come and achieve so that we can be able to win the general election. The most important thing is for us to be able to deliver on our promises, electoral promises. In the area of maybe the caretaker chairman wants to continue in office. You rightly said he has debunked this, so for me, I believe it's just a rumor. I don't want to dwell on that. A date has been fixed, and I know they are working day and night to come up with other arrangements that will give us a very victorious convention. I don't think any party will witness the kind of peaceful convention we're about to have. Former governors or former senators is not the issue. We all belong to the same party. We share the same ideology. We believe in the present administration, ably led by President Muhammadu Buhari. And I believe when time comes, these are issues we will be able to sort out within the House. Nobody is coming in to intimidate or manipulate the process with money. And APC is not about money politics. So for us, the more the merrier. And at the same time, we have a goal, we have a contract and accord with the people of Nigeria through the government and the present administration. The most important thing is for us to deliver the dividends of democracy to the people.
Okay, very quickly, you were part of the 2018-2019 gubernatorial race, despite the fact of having been a prominent member in politics over the years. But they dealt you a very clever hand. You know, you were conspired against and you were disqualified. And before you knew what was happening, another person had been declared as a standard bearer for your party. Now, which means that there are certain forces, I don't know whether you are aware of them or not, that are not interested in you, holding any major position, whether in Kwara State or in APC at the national level. Does that give you some level of anxiety, oftentimes, that those forces may still be at work? That's one. The second part has to do with the mode of choosing the chairman of the party. The National Assembly is still working on that, but of course, the Senate says consensus is not on the table. No, the Senate says consensus is on the table. The House of Reps says there's nothing like consensus. But it looks like a major bloc in the party is interested in consensus voting, consensus process of selecting the next chairman of the party. Are you also worried about that? And where do you stand in all these, divisions in the APC? Because the party is truly divided.
Well, sometimes when you journalists come up with your questions, sometimes for me, I don't know, maybe you are playing the devil's advocate or you just want to stir up some certain discussions. I'm sure when you did your findings and you were able to discover that I was disqualified in the last gubernatorial primaries in Kwara, and I'm sure you must have come across the apology being tendered by the party then. It was advertised in the papers and it was duly signed by the former national chairman, Comrade Governor Adams Oshemole. Well, I don't want to dwell too much on that. There was a miscommunication from the apology that was tendered, and it was never intended to hurt me or to, deliberately go after me. And that was why I had to look at the bigger picture and the bigger goal. I didn't want where my party would be losing. So for me, it was a major sacrifice. Anybody who believes in serving his people will always look at the bigger goal and the bigger picture. It wasn't about me just going there to earn a title. I always consider the people before my own personal interest in most cases. So I had to look at it. If I had gone to court or we had gone into some political argument, it will have cost Kwara State that seat. And I didn't want APC to lose Kwara, because for me, if I am in a party, my state, all politics is local. If I am in a party and another party is ruling my state, how relevant do I become in influencing things in my state? So I had to look at all this and consider the bigger goal. In terms of the mode and the type of convention or elective or process we intend to adopt, I always tell people we should take a cue from the wisdom of Mr. President, who, in his wisdom, said in a democracy, people should be given options. Coming to say it will be a straitjacket affair, that everybody must go through this process. Don't forget, as a country, we are multilingual, and same too with our democratic process. We are not running a one-party state. We are having, if I'm not mistaken, almost 60-something parties. So you can't expect what goes for party A must go for party B. You must be able to give room for people to decide what is convenient to them at that particular time. And don't forget, when you say they should all go for a particular mode of primary, have you also thought of the supervising body, INEC? Can they stretch themselves, assuming 3 parties are holding their primaries the same day? Can INEC effectively cover these primaries, be able to deploy materials and staffs, even if they are not going to be using voters' card or anything? But do they have the logistics to even supervise and monitor and observe some of these processes, since it is part of the electoral process that they have to be there to witness and observe some of these things? So I think we should adopt and accept what Mr. President, in his wisdom, that in a democracy, people should be given the option to choose what they want and how they want to go about it, as long as there are rules and, terms of condition to go about it.
Well, you're up against some political and financial heavyweights in this race to become APC National Chairman. What would you say gives you the edge over them? That's my first question. And my second question would be, as a national chairman, if at all you become APC's national chairman, your primary function will be to retain power for your party. That might be an uphill task, given the state of the nation at the moment. What would your strategy be?
Well, my contest is not about coming to contest for title. I'm in this race to serve. For me, it's a call to serve. I'm not competing or contesting with other aspirants because of superiority of who becomes what. For me, we will, as a party, sit around on the round table and be able to address this issue when the time comes. And everybody will be surprised that APC was able to resolve these issues amicably. If we're going for the election, fine. If it's the consensus, I pray and I hope I'm given that opportunity, and I pray to be endorsed by other aspirants. Because like I said, I want to serve. I have that energy now. I have the experience over the years and the goodwill. And more importantly, I want to be the bridge that connects between the old and the young, the women and men, the youth. And so for me, being that bridge so as to be able to help my party to harness the goodwill of the younger generation. From most of the statistics we see these days now, we are being told 75 to 80% of the total vote cast belongs to the younger generation. So it's an opportunity for them to have a semblance, or for them to connect with the system for the first time, and for them to see somebody who shares their ideology, somebody who understands where they are coming from. And then, if I may be reminded, your second question.
The strategy for retaining power in 2023, for APC retaining power,
Fine.
should you be the national chairman?
Well, one of our strategy will be, like I said, we will hold ourselves accountable first before the general public, meaning we will make sure we are able to have a monitoring team so as to be able to prove to Nigerians what the administration of APC has been able to deliver. It's unfortunate that my party has not been in the habit of announcing to the public the good works that has been done by this present administration. A lot of things are there to show for it. I don't think Nigerians will want to throw away a performing government to go for the one they don't even know their fate of. So for me, it's a very simple and easy task. We will try to make sure we deliver on our electoral promises, and we will at the same time exhibit some of these things. And that is why, that brings me to another point. I want to also make sure my party becomes an institution that will be able to archive some of these things, and people will be able to see in real time what the government is doing. You go to other countries, you will hear of the IRI, the National Democratic Institute. We should by now have our political parties institutionalizing their platform so that come sun, come rain, government in, government out, people will be able to know what a particular party was able to achieve. And it will also help the party to be able to plan properly in its strategy and research department on how to address most of the issues when it comes to governance.
Okay. What's your reaction to those that says that the APC is an SPV, it's a special purpose vehicle, and the mandate of that SPV was to bring President Muhammadu Buhari to power, and once he has done his 8 terms and he's leaving, it might just be the end of the SPV?
Well, for me, what I would say is we're around, we pray that the Almighty gives us long life and prosperity to prove you people wrong. If President Muhammadu Buhari's party or the APC is an SPV, then we won't be, planning ahead for a continuation. So I know from the inner house, we are planning, we are strategizing, and we are doing the best we can within the global challenges we found ourselves. So SPV or no SPV, that's the opposition talk. They will be here to see us continue in office and be able to sustain the gains already recorded by this present administration and add more gains and improve upon whatever has been built. So for me, it's just an opposition talk. You as the journalist, you will be around to witness and to also record our success again.
Okay. Let me ask you, does the APC, in your view, as some people have alleged, face the threat of a likely implosion before to the 2023 general election? And I ask that in the light of the fact that you have reconciliation committees that have been going from one state to the other. But those reconciliation committees have not been making any progress. They've not really been reconciling anybody, whether it's in Kano, or it's in Ogun, or it's in Oshun, or it is Kwara. So do you think your party is at the brink of an implosion?
I can see this issue of APC being at the brink of implosion as being a recurring decimal in our conversation this morning. I can assure you that far from what you think or what the rumors are out there, that the Reconciliation Committee, ably headed by His Excellency Senator Abdullahi Adamu, has achieved a lot. If not 95%, I would say 100%. It is part of our own internal strategy on how we address some of these issues. And I know for a fact that a lot of success has been recorded. He has traveled, he has traversed the length and breadth of this country. And being somebody who met him recently, I can tell you confidently that that assignment has been very fruitful. The report has not been presented officially. So if you are only raising this anxiety based on what you knew a year or a year and a half ago, now wait for the report to be presented and for you to see how successful that reconciliation committee has been able to do justice to most of the aggrieved areas of our party.
Well, Alhaji Saliu Mustapha, thank you very much for joining us on the morning show today. We wish you all the best with your aspirations.